Hi, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. And yeah, the TCL NXTPaper 60 Ultra. What is this? This is an Android 15 phone that has this very special NXTPaper type of a screen that is trying to resemble and mimic paper far more than a traditional LCD and OLED, but it retains the benefits of an LCD and an OLED panel by keeping the speed, the colors, and all of the other stuff that we come to know and love. So it's trying to bridge the gap and sit somewhere in between a traditional LCD and OLED panel and an e-paper or electrophoretic display. So here we have the TCL NXTPaper 60 Ultra, 512 gigabytes of storage. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM and 12 gigabytes RAM expansion. Supports all of these bands and blah, 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 blah. On paper, this sounds like a lot of specifications here. And hey, we got modular set with the mag flip and T-Pan magic. Interesting. So let's see and open up the device first. As you can see, we have security seals. Let's open up. Oh, this is enormous. This is 7.2. Wow. Oh my God, this is huge. This camera in the back is gigantic. And it's sparkly like Edward. So this is like Edward in sunshine. If this was my device, I would call it Edward. Oh, nice. Okay. Immediately you get to see this lack of reflectivity, which is such a cool kind of thing, because around the front camera here you can see what your normal phone would look like, and this is what the special layer they have applied here feels like. Gigantic camera bump in the back. Quite a nice look and heft to it. It's enormous. It's abso-freaking-lutely enormous. Get the quick start guide. We get the cover here, which fits it very nicely as a bumper cover, but the camera sticks still even with this bumper cover. And you get the USB-C to USB-C cable. This looks very, very nice. And we get the pen. Cool. You use it with the bumper. So you use this. This has the magnet thing, which attaches to here. And then you go like this. So we can probably put it like this in there. Okay, I managed to click it. You click to get the pen outside here. And this looks like a Samsung, small Samsung pen, which really feels like it. Ooh, and actually the writing feel on this is quite nice and interesting. And it's clicky as well, which is very nice. So when you're done, you go in here, and it's held by a magnet very, very securely. Overall, this as a whole package is pretty freaking sweet. So this is the power button, doubles as a fingerprint reader as well. And next to it, you have this little physical switch, which is the NXTPaper mode on or off. I'm going through the initial setup. And now we've finally gotten to the 3 NXTPaper eye protection modes are included. Max ink mode, ink paper mode, and color paper mode. Maximum ink mode, close the app process for low power immersive reading. Ink paper mode, a paper-like display effect with black and white ink. And color paper mode, low saturation, soft color, paper-like display effect. So we are now set up, and the very first thing it says is like switch it up to enter different modes. So I'm gonna enter maximum ink mode. For immersive reading, all running apps will be closed. Only selected apps will be allowed to send notifications. Yes. And okay, it does a little cool swipe right to enter the bookshelf page. This looks very, very cool. Like even as such, like the combination of everything, the sharpness and just the way it looks is very, very pleasant. All right, so I've downloaded Kobo, got myself in there, and I'm really impressed with this combination of a display. It really feels and looks completely different than what I'm used to, from the reflectivity, from the colors themselves, and it just doesn't feel like it's glaring at you. So this is how they look like side by side if I adjust them to be kind of similar. So this one's a little bit brighter now. Let's, yeah, this is maximum brightness here. So let's go a little bit down. It's the reflections. It's simply the reflections, and that affects basically everything on this whole kind of section, and especially the angle, the viewing angles, what you can actually get away with. It definitely changes between these two. So neither can actually compete with an e-ink, that's a given, but you can clearly see how the reflections are. Yeah, I mean, this is a very, very different ball game altogether. So we have our regular mode, and if I switch here and I go to maximum ink mode, I'm gonna go like this. I really love this animation, goes wink. Okay, and this is good when I'm looking at it directly. So if you're looking at it like this, it's quite nice, and it's actually more readable and nicer in real life than it is on camera. The problem I do have with it is that, as you can see here, the reflections, yeah, the Fresnel effect is fairly strong. Because of the size of the device, it does make it a little bit fiddly. For example, if I wanted to read it like this from this position, I wouldn't have a good time. All right, so let's go back. I love this switch. Okay, so now it goes that way. So let's do ink paper mode. There we go. Okay, go back to Kobo. Honestly, I don't see a big of a difference. I think that the max ink mode is simply that it's putting it into extreme power saver mode and black and white. I believe that's at least my impression that I see. This is very, very readable. At some point, I think it would be useful to compare this to the Palma 2 Pro and see how they stack against each other. With that in mind, I'm going to switch that again and check out the color ink mode as well, and then see how that works like. So let's switch color paper mode. Okay, there we go. So we're again in paper mode. Very, very similar, but this time we do have colors, and we have them in a nice unsaturated manner. And here we are with the comic book, just to kind of see how this looks like. You can see the image. So when you're looking at it straight on, it does look really, really good. I mean, very, very nicely. But again, the problem is that as soon as you move a little bit, you get an overwhelming glare over the whole thing. And while it does eliminate the sharp pinpoint reflections, it just introduces this kind of glare level. And at lower intensities, I mean, this is maximum brightness that I can have, it's very striking. The image quality and the image characteristics are really, really striking. Completely different to an e-ink or, yeah, an OLED, for example. and the sharpness is gorgeous. So, oh my God, okay, so for this, now it's starting to look absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let's zoom in so that you can actually enjoy this a bit more, because this thing looks freaking epic for this type of stuff. Yeah, this now it's starting to make sense. So this thing for comic books is quite an awesome thing. So let's see in landscape mode. Yep, let's put it in frame. Very, very nice. And super smooth, super fast, really precise and sharp. Like very, very precise and sharp. I prefer this experience for reading comic books or manga over anything else that I've tried so far. Absolutely. There's like no contest. Yes, the viewing angle is not perfect. Yes, you will get a glare quite quickly if the viewing angle is not ideal. But when the viewing angle is really good, it gives you this gorgeous, gorgeous looking display and device with it simply pops from the screen in a really nice way. So, all right, that's what it does. It's made for manga. Let's just see, like, let's go to a color frame here. Say this and switch NXTPaper mode off just to see what the difference is. Oh, okay. So then it gets to be much more saturated and more glowy. This looks great, like really great, but it looks like a computer display of sorts, especially on black and white. The whites are glowing in this kind of bluish type of thing, but as soon as I switch over to color paper mode or ink paper mode, look, now when it goes like this, oh, it just looks so much better. Yes, it's darker, but oh my God, it looks so much better. All right, I'm gonna stay in the ink color mode and I'm going into the Notes app now. And I want to, I want to add a note and see how it works with writing. So I'm gonna disable touch and I'm gonna do some handwriting because I'm curious to see how that works. So let's do this one. Yeah, that's, let's erase. And let's make it a bit smaller. There we go. So this is my writing note. Oh, but I did disable touch, but it's sliding. All right. Let's make it even thinner. All right, so this feels really, really good. And this cover here, I don't know if you can hear, but maybe, doesn't feel like a glass at all. And it's really, really good for a display like this, for a whole technology and refresh method, which is a continuous refresh method, as opposed to electrophoretic displays, which have, a different type of refresh method. And while it feels good, it doesn't feel glassy at all. It does suffer from the standard type of issues that these displays or this technology does suffer from, and it's two things. First is the latency. While it is a good, fast latency, it's not as fast as what we have on the current best e-paper devices or electrophoretic devices, because I can clearly notice it. It's very, very fast, but it's not as fast as Remarkable Paper Pro. It doesn't feel like, for example, Remarkable Paper Pro or Kindle Scribe or, you know, the sub-20s devices. Maybe it is, but it doesn't look like it. The second aspect that's problematic for me is the accuracy. This one is doing the estimation of writing strokes, and usually when it's estimating and basically overcorrecting to make things smoother, and when it's capturing the data, it optimizes stuff, and when it's doing that optimization, it's losing the characteristics of my handwriting. This is not a specific problem for this type of a device. This is something that's present on many other devices, pretty much all of the devices of this type, but it's not exclusive to these. Some e-paper devices suffer from that as well. Not precise enough. And when you combine those two, it's a perfectly usable writing experience. Absolutely it is. There's no question about that. But it's simply a matter of if I'm comparing it to something like, let's say, Remarkable Paper Pro Move, then it's a very different ballgame. But if you're in a pinch, you have this, and as a package, it works really, really nicely. For first impressions, and yeah, of all of this so far, it's really, really impressive. I have not experienced the NXTPaper display before. I was very much aware of it, but I've never had a chance to use it. 12 plus 4 gigabytes, so it can use yeah, RAM in advanced features, so NXT Turbo and RAM expansion. Okay. But even so, 12 gigs is more than plenty. Android 15, 32 megapixel front, rear is 50 plus 50. This into your pocket and you got a little powerhouse reader, camera, like all smartphone features, Android 15 with tons of power in here, but also a display that's, yeah, it's offering quite a bit of a different experience. I'm really looking forward to spending some more time with this, and then in the future I'm gonna bring you a comparison video and what my opinion is regarding, for example, this versus Palma 2 Pro, because those would be the two closest companions that you have on the market currently, because Palma 2 Pro is also color, but it's true Kaleido color, so it's true electrophoretic display, versus NXTPaper. Both are handwriting capable. The main difference being that the Palma 2 Pro cannot function as a phone, so no phone calls, SMSs or MMS, but it does support SIM cards and you can have mobile data. I think that would be a very interesting comparison to kind of see in the coming video. But yeah, when I'm done with shooting this video, and maybe there's another one, or this is the last one. Yes, this is the last one. Cool, because that means that I can enter color paper mode and continue reading and enjoying this absolutely spectacular quality here, because damn, this looks good. Look at it. This is so awesome. Well, I gotta say that I was not prepared or ready for this to have such an impact on me as it has. Why? Well, because I'm jaded by the marketing lying practices that have now become complete standard and are legally accepted across the globe. What does that mean? Well, that means that if somebody announces a new product and they have marketing images and plan, and you go on their website or something and you see the images of the product and technology that they're offering, in 90% of cases, these are blatant lies. Something that you cannot believe and should not believe because they're heavily doctored, they're like, it doesn't really resemble reality at all. I have had my eye on devices using this type of display for a while now, but I never held it in a hand and I never used it in real life. And I gotta say that above everything else, what I'm really, really impressed with is the authenticity of the marketing material that is used, at least on this representing this device, how faithful it actually is what you see from their images that they show of their product to what you will have in reality in your hand. That is something that I was very genuinely surprised by. The second thing that I was genuinely surprised by is attention that went into implementing the eye care technologies that are in this device. Remember, this is just first look, first impressions, so I'm going to spend some more time with this, and I'm going to try and use it as my daily phone for a while and see how that goes and what my impressions are going to be then after a little while. But the first look and first impression is that my daily driver is OnePlus 12. And I love that device and I love that phone. It works great. After testing this and, playing around and using the, color paper mode as well, coming back to a traditional screen, I missed this. I really missed the screen here. That's my first impression. In the time that I'm going to spend with it, I'm going to try and give it equal amount of focus on how it functions as a phone, how it functions as a reader, how it functions as a note taker, what it can replace, what it can't replace, where's the strong points, weak points, etc., etc. And all of that I'm going to bring you in the in-depth review. But the first impressions of the NXTPaper technology, because that's what I was focusing on mainly in this video, are very, very positive, and I'm very, very impressed with what this has to offer in reality. Let me know in the comments down below, have you used some of the devices that use NXTPaper type of display? What are your impressions? What's your experience? And what is your advice to actually kind of pay attention to and check out during my time when testing this out? Because I genuinely would appreciate that type of advice and that type of insight from people who already have more experience than myself with this type of technology and this type of device, so they can get the most out of it while in the time that I have it here for testing. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye!